Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Arsenal Pass. Today we have our Everfest spoiler, and boy, is it a spicy one. Hayden, quickly before we jump into it, do you want to give me your thoughts on Everfest so far? By the way, brand new crowned national champion sitting across from me. I can barely contain my excitement.
Can tell. Tell you what, the spoiler season is. I've been losing sleep over the spoiler season so far, like genuinely, because a lot of the spoilers come out at in my late at my night or early in my morning. So often my phone will buzz at like an hour before I get up, and I'm just waking up and just checking spoilers, or I'm staying up a little bit later because spoilers are starting to come through. So genuinely been losing sleep, but I've found it so exciting so far, and we're only just starting to see class cards now. At the time, we're trying to record this as late as possible, so we're recording this I think 3 days before our spoiler goes up. But we're just starting to see class cards, which is awesome. And I have our spoiler card right here actually, which we're going to talk about. And you must be hyped about this card because I was hoping for maybe a brute card. I'm really happy that we got this, but you must be super hyped.
I mean, I actively contacted LSS leadership and lobbied for a wizard card. So, spoiler, it's a wizard card.
We have a wizard card. Well, with that said, should we I'll change over the screen, and should we get into talking about this card right here, Brendan?
Let's do it. Awesome. So our card is Scour. This is going to be a wizard action at Majestic. It does block for 3. The cost is X, and this is at blue. It says destroy X target auras and or auras with cost 0 controlled by target hero. Then deal damage to that hero equal to the number of auras destroyed this way. I had a little bit of a hard time reading that first sentence, but I think I've wrapped my head around it. In what's the little lore text?
Yeah, so we also get our our nice lore text and card with Everfest. It's simple, you see. A bit of pressure, a pinch of Aether at the right spot will dispel any manner of minor enchantments. Aether is, after all, the domain of wizards. You can try all you may, but you'll never fool its masters. What do you think about this? What was the kind of the first when we got this? What was your first thoughts about this card? Where was your head at?
So where my first thought was like, wow, we don't know of any of the cost 0 auras, right? And I was like, oh wait, there's a first part to this text. It's destroy X target aura tokens. So that's immediately where we can think and get excited about, right? Like we think about chain, like think about blowing up the shackle token, seismics. Hey, and you mentioned a few cards as well, like chains of eminence. I mean, this card is really fun, right? Like I like this as a sideboard option and a way to disrupt the opponent, especially as a deck like Kano, which doesn't necessarily have a lot of disruption.
Yeah, this card is, at first I thought, oh, interesting. And then I just sort of started like searching auras up in FabDB and just like thinking more about this card. And the more and more I think about this card, just how powerful this card can be and how defining I think it could potentially be. I've never really, I think with our past spoilers or our past preview cards, I've thought, oh, there could be this or this. Like this has a lot of utility. I think first of all, it's a blue and wizard, which is fantastic. It defends for 3, which is huge. It has a variable cost, which means that that has a lot of flexibility, which we've seen with other cards like Sonata Arcanix before, for instance, where that variable cost is a really important tool of flexibility. But if I just go through kind of the list of things that this can target, you talked about it, Soul Shackles. That's huge, right? We know a way to reset chain could be massive. Rune Chants. Okay, we know how traditionally Rune Chants can, it's not as much of a problem maybe, but maybe something like this just sets your Viscera opponent fully back. You've got Spectral Shields. We know how impossible it is currently, for Wizard to deal with Prism, and maybe it's the other auras that give you the issue, but this spell that can potentially just, destroy all those, and then get the damage on top, so the damage itself isn't actually having to kill the shields. Or maybe they have 8 shields, you X4 and kill all 8 shields potentially. So you've got the Spectral Shields. You've got Chains of Eminence, which you just said. You've got Quicken tokens, which Quicken tokens, maybe a Coax gets played. It's no good for you, but it's good for the opponent. Seismic Surge, we've seen how prevalent that's going to be in this set with Velda and with Bravo and the new Guardian cards. And then you can kill Zen State tokens out of the Ninja Find Center. Things you can't do, just want to cover. Can't kill items. So it is important to know, we've seen a lot of items come out in the set and potions, things like that. You can't kill those. But yeah, it does a lot. There's a lot of things this card can do.
So one thing I want to point out, and it's something that doesn't like jump out at you, right? Is that a blue card that blocks for 3 and has utility in Kano is good. Because like we play a lot of blue cards that do not much, right? Like it's like our blue Scalding Rain or whatever. Maybe it's just a bit of arcane damage. Something that you don't have to blank off the top when you reveal it with Kano. And, it has a use case in a lot of your matchups, right? So I think that this is like actually a very, it might not be a totally like a sideboard card. I think this is a very kind of modular card and it can be used in a lot of situations. And it's power floor, like its worst case scenario, it's not that bad, right? It's a blue that blocks a 3 that you can also banish with Kano.
Yeah, and you can Kano, you can pitch to Kano, right? So it's
Exactly.
terrible, I guess, if you banish this in the wrong matchups, and so maybe from that aspect you want to have it more of a sideboard card. But if the meta is, there's a bunch of Guardians running around making Seismic Surges, there's a bunch of Chain decks running around, maybe there's even a bunch of Prisms and Rune Blades making Rune Chants. Well, if that's 80% of the meta I'm expecting, I'll probably just main deck this. I'll probably just happy to just have this as one of my blues and not have to worry about having an alternative in the sideboard. So yeah, look, really hyped about this card. I'm excited to see what Wizard gets. We've already seen the weapon. Looks like, is Wizard going to be playable in Class Constructor, Brendan? That's the question.
That is a really tough question. I have no clue. It depends. Probably not. But it looks fun, and I would like to reiterate on what Hayden said. I'd probably actually main deck this card in Blitz. I think that it's a really, really good blue card.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see what the rest of the Everfest spoilers bring. I'm glad we got this card. It's cool that we got a Wizard card. The art on this card is actually awesome. Some of the art on the set, I was like, oh, don't know about this, but some cards I've absolutely loved, and this is one of them. And it looks amazing in foil. So if you do open it, enjoy.